Alright, so welcome back guys, this is Feedback here, it's me. Alright, so today's video, as you can see, we're going to talk about H.S.R, Honkai Star Rail. Alright, so this video will be mainly focusing about the character banners in version 2.6. Okay, so version 2.6 has landed and there's been a lot of events recently, and of course me rushing events as usual, but also including procrastination. Alright, so I'm going to talk about the current banner first, okay, and also the upcoming second half banners. Okay, as you know, this is just the first half. Okay, so for first half, we have Rappa, which is the new 5-star character. For those who want to understand Rappa like more, you can search up for like my previous videos. Okay, yeah, so yeah, technically it's just like this. So the 4 stars along with the characters will be Lynx, Yukong, and Shui. Alright, so another 5-star character limited we have is Danheng IL, also known as Danheng in Bibita Lunae. Right, so for those who are actually planning like which character you should actually consider getting, okay, I'm going to be that honest with you. Like, you should totally skip the first half and go for the second half. Unless you have certain dedications for this character, or you like this character so much that you don't care about literally anything else in the game. Okay, so yeah, obviously then just go for it. Okay, so whatever advice I'm going to give soon or later will be only for those who are searching for like the most effective strategy to progress through a game, or specifically MOC, Apocalyptic Shadow, or Pure Fiction. Okay, so now we're going to first talk about Rappa. So Rappa is obviously a very good DPS. Okay, if you search for my previous video clearing MOC 12, yeah, she is a really good character, but her DPS conditions are actually quite I would say specific. Yeah, her DPS conditions are actually kind of specific, and it's also kind of hard to actually make her work in certain conditions. Okay, so the first condition is definitely if the enemy have imaginary toughness, like imaginary weakness, so you can actually break and you can stack her passive and you can break other enemy without the weakness easier. If the enemy has completely zero weakness, so you will experience issues like trying to break it. Okay, so but overall she is really good if you have Rame through yeah, the most basic thing is if you have Rame. Okay, and next you have Trailblazer, yeah, then you're already good to go. And you can just line a sustain like Gallagher, Aventurine, or anything else. Yeah, it just works. Okay, so that's technically ending on Barappa. So next we are down to Luna Day. So for those who are planning for him, okay, the only saddest thing I would say is he was good. He was. He fell off. Yeah, he fell off. That's the only word I can say. He fell off. The only thing you can see him still fighting well is when he have E2 and he have S1. If you are an E0 S1, it's either you have a hard sparkle, or like you just completely can't use him all, because his team is like so hard to use without a sparkle, and besides that, without his signature Lycone, he is really hard to play with. Okay, so I mean, obviously there are other replacement options for like Lycones and probably teammates, but overall, if you want the best experience and the best team, you obviously must have a sparkle, because not to mention he's a skill point eating monster, and at the same time, his scaling is quite high, but like his action, like I would say the chances of him taking turns is actually quite low. Okay, so having a sparkle is technically like solving your skill point problems and also solving like your action value problems. Okay, and also not to mention his E2 actually does a really huge change in how you're going to play him. Okay, so his E2 just for like a short brief. Okay, um short brief. Okay, so As you can see, I have E1 here. This was an complete accident. Okay, we're going to ignore that. So strap to E2. After using his ultimate Danheng IL, action is advanced for about 100% and gain 1 extra Squama Sacrosancta. So if you wonder what this thing is, it's technically the thing, okay, the skills you will see on him in his gameplay. So this thing will technically re replace will be consume priority first before you start consuming skill points to enhance your basic attack. Yeah. So this is his basic attack. Yeah. So at max level he did 500 of total and with like 180% to adjacent targets. So 500% is actually not that low. Okay, especially if you can like just keep running over. So the reason why he will fell off is because if the enemy doesn't have imaginary weakness, then he can't maximize his damage potential against the enemy. Okay, and not to mention like the recent rise of super break DPS is getting even wilder. Yeah, so that's probably one of the reasons why. Okay, so that's pretty much I want to say about this. So those who are planning on getting like getting a new character, or whether it's a DPS or anything else, okay, in the first half, I would definitely suggest you to go Rappa instead of like Danheng IL, because the chances for Danheng IL to go on in regardless of MOC Purification or Apocalyptic Shadow, Rappa obviously have like a higher chance to perform or to get on with in those modes. Okay, because not to mention she's one of the new gen DPS, so obviously she have a like, greater advantage. Right, so for Lycones, I just got Rappa's Lycone just now. Okay, like just now I was itchy, I did 2 pulls and I got it out. Okay, so yeah, for Danheng's signature Lycone, it's only good for himself, so like during Lycone investment for these 2 banners are just like not really that worth it. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So there are obviously news like for the upcoming 5 stars, which is Acheron and Aventurine. Where's Aventurine? Okay, yeah, so we're going to talk about Acheron first. So why would I say skip the first half completely and go for the second half if you are looking for your most wise spending strategy? So it's actually pretty obvious. Like Acheron is still one of the standing DPS. Okay, I mean she does have a signature support to make her work even better. Okay, but if you don't have a signature support, you still can force it to work. It's just pain if you are trying to compare yourself to those like top ones up there. So if you don't know who her signature support is, um, it's actually someone called Jiao Qiu, okay, who recently just released, and the banner is actually gone. Okay, so what Jiao does is actually pretty simple. So he can apply a thing called Action Roast on the enemy, and this thing will increase the damage received by the enemy by a certain percentage, and also up to a limit of I don't know how many percentage. Okay, so his ultimate, besides like just inflicting enemies with debuff, okay, so it also allows the enemy to take more ulti damage, which is what Acheron actually needs, because Acheron's scaling is actually not low. It deals a lot of damage, but the problem is her stack issue is very hard to get. Like you need to apply 1 debuff to the enemy to make like her ulti to get 1 stack, so only at 9 stacks she can activate and do the huge numbers. Okay, so if you can't do that, then it's like no damage at all. Okay, so the release of Jiaoqiu technically solved this problem. So how does it actually solve this problem? So um I'll summarize it up for you. So during his ulti activated, the enemy if enemy takes a move, a turn, okay, you'll automatically apply 1 stack of Ashen Rose to the enemy, and which is considered as applying 1 debuff onto the enemy. So in that way, Acheron can get 1 stack. So which means that besides your own character taking action at the same at one time, the enemy taking action can also help your Acheron to stack faster. So in this like turn of manner, Acheron is like going to be a lot more efficient to use compared to like the old Acheron teams where people just slide either Pella or Silver Wolf or technically any other Nihility characters. Okay, so that's why Jiaoshu is also like considered the best support for Acheron, which also like make a huge change. Okay, so speaking about the Acheron, okay, she is actually not too bad currently. Okay, yeah, um, she's actually pretty straightforward. Like her kit is just like, if you know how it works, it's just like you stack, you out, and you slash, and enemy dies. If they don't die, you just repeat the sequence. Like you stack, you slash, and then you yeah, and if they don't die, you just keep repeating until they die. Okay, so overall, it's like not bad if you see the scaling here. So mine is level 10, which is max. Okay, up to, yeah, 372% and 300% to other people, and also Rainblade 24%, 15%, up to 60%, 120%. Yeah, so as you can see, her like um ulti damage is actually not too bad. Okay, like the scaling is really really low, but compared to the recent DPS like Firefly, Boothill, or maybe even Rappa, okay, Acheron definitely like didn't perform that much, okay, but she's still very insane if you have like good investment on her or and on Jiaoqiu. It will be a completely different, like it will be a complete difference. All right. So next will be Aventurine. So about Aventurine, there's a lot going on recently about Aventurine. So about Aventurine, he is preservation. Okay, so preservation is like a defensive character, like you can assume it's like Japan or Fusion. Yeah, so about the sad thing about preservation units is um they are very rare in this game. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, and besides Aventurine, most others are just like they just got outperformed by Aventurine, because the thing Aventurine can do is just way too much the other can actually provide. Okay, so I'll explain the whole thing about what I saw on the internet or on YouTube or Reddit or wherever it is. Okay, I'll explain bit by bit why Aventurine's value is still one of the highest in Honkai Star Rail so far. Okay, so on the release of Aventurine, what we only see is like he's a part of the follow up team. Okay, so after like using him for so long, I start to realize that he can do more than just like a defensive character. While at the same time, he's also kind of like a hybrid character of both. So going to explain from his skill. So his skill is actually pretty straightforward. He applies a shield lasting for 3 turns based on his defense, and this shield can stack up to 2 times. Right. So if example I'm give Adventure is giving off a 2000 shield HP, okay, instead of like just 2000, he can go up to 4000. Yeah, because he can stack 2 times. So that's just an example. So in game, how much will it be? You still need specific calculations. Okay, so his ulti is also one of the like best points. Okay, I personally think so far. Okay, so um, before explaining ulti, I have to explain his talent first. So his talent, to make it simple, is actually like ally with the shield, they will have effect rest. Okay, so mine is a level 10, is 50%. So in case if you guys don't have any idea how much 50% effect rest is, technically more than a rope, I think. Yeah, more technically technically more than what a relic piece can actually provide. And also when they get hit, eventually gains 1 point of blind bet, which is the numbers you can see if you pay attention in any of the like the teams that use Aventurine, you'll see like a number on him, like how much /7. So yeah, if any of the allies get hit, he can like gain 1 point. And if he have fortified wager, he can resist crowd control debuffs. Okay, this effect can trigger again after 2 turns. Yeah, so this means Aventurine technically won't Like it's almost impossible for him to get crowd control unless the enemy just intend to like move non-stop. Yeah, unless the enemy is hyperactive or something. Okay, so going back to the point just now, adventuring gains 1 point of blind bet if any of the allies get hit, but if he gets hit, he'll gain 2 instead of 1. So if the um, blind bet point reaches 7, so he'll launch a follow-up attack, okay, based on his defense, and also at the same time refreshes the shield. Okay, but the shield refresh is one of the talent. Yeah, so this talent here, bingo. So after launching the follow-up attack, he provides all allies the refresh shield based on his own defense. Yeah. So yeah, this technically means like how broken he is. Like instead of like just launching up follow-up attacks, like you can gain the stack, and if you max stack it, you can like refresh your shield. Okay, like for example, the shield is just 1 turn, but the shield value is just like max already. Imagine if you launch this ability, it will just like continue the shield. Like it will refresh back to 3 rounds with the amount of the shield HP you have. Yeah, so this is like why his value is still one of the top tier preservation characters. Okay, even though Fusion is there, but when people automatically comes to mind, if they have Adventuring and Fusion on their account, they will prioritize Adventuring first because Adventuring is just too brain dead overall. Like you don't have to care about like maybe HP, maybe like crit anything. If you wanna care about crit, you just need to stack defense, like at least 3k 4k defense, and he will still work fine. Yeah, so that's just like how brain dead he actually is. Okay, because when you are playing Fusion, you might have to worry about what if the enemy output is so high that at certain one point it will just one shot your Fusion without your Fusion being able to trigger her passive. Yeah, or the enemy just like so hyperactive. At certain point your Fusion can't even get the chance to like regen the energy and get her ulti stack back. Yeah, so those are some points you have to worry about. But if you are in term like today you are using Adventuring, you don't have to care about so many things. All you need to care about is whether can the shield stack. So all you need to care about is whether the shield on the ally is going to break or not, or you just need to care about like um will I get CC'd or should I shield or just skill this round. And if you have ulti, you can just probably spam ulti. Alright, so that's actually why, like, he's just too brain dead. Like, sometimes you don't even have to cast skill. You just need to like basic all around. So he's technically SP positive at certain critical point. Okay, so in terms you are building a full defense adventuring, you can just spam attack, or maybe you can just spam attack for 2 or 3 turns and maybe like skill for one turn. Yeah. So I remember there's also one crucial talent. I actually forget where is it. Uh, this one. Yeah, after a teammate for the right. Yeah, this is also the one I'm saying about. If any ally launches up follow-up attack, he gains 1 blind bet point up to 3 times. Okay. Yeah, it resets at the start of adventuring's turn. So yeah, overall he's just like an infinite shield reset and shield cycle machine. Yeah. Alright, so lastly is his ultimate. So his ultimate, to make it simple for you, it's just RNG plus 1 debuff. So why would I say RNG is because when you cast this ulti, he'll randomly gain you blind bet point from 1 to 7. Okay, so it might be 1 or it might be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it will be any number of it. And he inflicts a debuff on the enemy target, and this debuff will cause the enemy to like increase the crit damage received by 15%. Okay, so yeah, overall like he's like this insane because if you're building a crit DPS, okay, um yeah, then you can slide him in, the enemy will receive more crit damage, and at the same time he also ensures your team's sustain, okay, because your team technically can't take damage. unless the shield exceeds 3 turns, which is sometimes possible if he doesn't refresh the shield. Okay, but overall he's just so brain dead because he can be used in literally any team. If you say today you are using a super break team like Boothill or Firefly, okay, you want a sustain. Okay, Adventuring can be in also. Okay, because his shield is one of the strongest in the game. Okay, so and his whole kit is also infinite shield cycle. Technically this thing, if you put in break team also, regardless of you might waste the crit damage there, or the follow up will stack thing, but it actually doesn't really matter because don't forget he is a preservation character, means his taunt value is the highest in the game, like for the series among the other path in the game. Okay, so unless you are holding a Tingin in your team, then you can technically ignore what I just said. Okay, but if you don't have a Tingin in your team, he's one of the highest taunt values path, so enemies will just tend to attack him more. Yeah, so he will just stack and he will keep refreshing the shield. So yeah, if you're putting him in a non-crit team, he also works, okay, because non-crit DPS team, okay, correction, like he also works well because you can just use him as the point for sustain and protection. Okay, so if you are putting him in a crit team, it's also better because he makes the enemy like receive more crit damage. So it's like a win-win situation, regardless of what team you put him in. So this is why the moment I see his release, I was like, yeah, maybe I should decide to get this character. Yeah, so then his value has been increasing non-stop. Okay, so comparison with about him with Fushen is like why he will become like the first in slot and people comes to thinking of sustain, because besides he's just brain dead, is like what buff Fushen provide is like that time is about the crit rate, like, and the crit and crit damage Fushen's skill can provide. Yeah, the buffs Fushen skill can provide. So whatever buff Fushen skill can do, like whatever Fushen can do, Adventuring can also do it. So we all know very well, like when a certain character can can do what other characters do, and they can do it better, you already know this character is a winner, and he will definitely be prioritized first because his kit is brain dead enough, and he doesn't need too much like investment. Okay, because to be dead honest, Adventuring doesn't really need like insane investment if you are beating him defensive like mine, 5555 defense, right? So for me, I can just run any preservation like cone that increases defense. Okay, so mine I'll be running Japal icon because I have 2 of them. If you don't have, you can also like put day 1 of my new life, which is March signature icon, or you can even put like Trend of the Universal Market. Yeah, because you see they all like technically increases defense, so it's actually not hard to find a defense like cone. Like it's actually pretty simple. Yeah, so that's actually how simple it is. And if you see relics, like, yeah, it's the 4-piece Knight of Purity Palace and below bulk of the artifacts. Yeah, so it's just all defense, and it's not hard for you to get defense percent piece. I believe you all got a lot of, definitely of like HP percent or defense percent. Yeah, but in this case, defense percent help him stack shield more, so it's actually pretty insane. Right, so mine is E0. Yeah, so if you had been watching my videos recently, um, about some levels, you will see Adventuring's value there, somewhere there. Yeah, so yeah, and that is the reason why I also like ask you all to like not pull in the first half and go for the second, because characters in the second half are more like efficient to get and build and use. Okay, so in case if you are worrying like what kind of teams you can run for Acheron, okay, so for my own example, I don't have Jiaoqiu, so I'll select Acheron and Black Swan, okay, and Gwynethon, and maybe Aventurine. Yeah, so it will be something like this. Okay, so you might be wonder like why no heals, because Aventurine's shield is thick enough to like cover the whole team. So I technically don't need any heals here unless the enemy like damage is like quite high or something. Okay, so if you are saying I don't have any Black Swan, what can I do? You can put Welt. Okay, this is one of the options, or you can put Bella. So the whole thing will look like this. Okay, so if you say I don't have an Adventuring, what can I do? If you're Adventuring, you can replace with Japard, or if you don't have a Japard, you can replace with a Gallagher. Okay, because Gallagher is one of the good heals in the game, and he's a 4-star, so you can just build him. Right, so if you say I don't have Gallagher, I didn't build him, what can I replace? Okay, Ho Ho. If you have Ho Ho, you can put Ho Ho, definitely. Or worst case condition, if you don't have, you just put a Baidu. Please don't tell me you don't have a Baidu. If you don't have a Baidu, something's wrong with your account, you need to start a new account. Okay, so for Adventuring, as you can see, for the later one teams, where's the later teams? Yeah, so like you can see Adventuring just appear like out of nowhere. Yeah, because if you have OCD like me, you don't like seeing your character's HP dropping below 100%. Yeah, then sliding Adventuring is probably like one of the most convenient things. Alright, because all he does in the game, even if your auto, is just going to be like it's either his skill, he ulti, or he just basic. Yeah, so that's all. So for people who are like thinking of getting like out of the 4 characters, which one you should consider? So it's actually pretty straightforward. So obviously the first priority is going to be Aventurine, then Acheron, Rappa, and Danheng. Okay, so why would I put Aventurine in first place? It's actually pretty straightforward. You can, if you play Genshin Impact, you can assume he is like the Zhongli in Star Rail. Okay, so yeah, that's how brain dead he is. Okay, you can assume similar mechanics like Zhongli, but not same as Zhongli, but similar mechanics. Okay, and how stupid it actually is. Yeah. Okay, so for Acheron, it's a good DPS, but obviously there will be better options in the future. Yeah. So and for Rappa is good, but the first problem is you need to have a Rame, or you have, or you must have an E1 Fugue, which is the upcoming beta character. She's already in beta, I've seen her kit. So you need E1 on Fugue to use Rappa if you don't have a Rame. Okay, so yeah, those are the pain things for like break or super break DPSs. You need a Rame to maximize their potential. Okay, if you don't have Rame, you need to find a way to force it out, which means you need more skill and more like um, tuning for your character stats. So yeah, for me, I'm just like I'm not a really tryhard player lah. I'm just like a normal player, casual player, running my life around, lazy, doing my own stuff. Yeah. So yeah. Then for Dangan IL, he was one of the best, but now he is just he just fallen off, and then like it's very hard to use him even at under the best conditions. Okay, because it's not when we say a character fell, it's actually not their fault. Like that honestly, it's not their fault. They as because it was, yeah, he was means he was good. He is good the moment he got released. The reason why he fails is because the change of the game environment. Like it's actually the game changed so much back in the days where the enemy doesn't affect your energy, they don't affect your skill points, they don't affect like your HP, or they are just not so annoying, bro. Like the reason why they fell off is because the enemy changed so much, regardless of HP, their mechanics, their attack, their defense, anything. Yeah, which makes these old characters can't keep up. And the only reason why they can keep up for only a short while is because of a specific release of a character. Okay, so let's make a simple example. Okay, we're going to take the most classic example. So Danheng IL. So the issue with him is him consuming too much skill points. Okay, the time his damage is still not a problem. Okay, so but like a few versions later, then people just like start not to use him that often, is where you know like the character starts to fall off because there are better options. So why do we still need to suffer ourselves when we can just pull a new character and we can clear the game easily? Yeah. So at this time, when even though when like true love players, find hard times in using Danheng IL. This is where the new character come out, which is like Sparkle. Okay, so what Sparkle does is it generates a ton of skill points, okay, and it also advances character actions. So these two main things solve Danheng's IL biggest issue, which is like too slow and also like not enough skill points. Yeah, so with Sparkle, he technically solved IL. And also another classic example of fall off is who is it again? I remember it's Erudition. Yeah, Jingyuan. So Jingyuan was definitely overhyped during version 1.0. Okay, so version 1.0, he is definitely one of the good DPS. Okay, during version 1.0 we don't have that many options. It's like we either have like Silly, Sealer, or Seer, or yeah, or we have Jingyuan. Okay, so Seer was definitely one like the first character where everyone will say pull Sealer and don't play Jingyuan. Like don't pull Jingyuan. So the time Jingyuan was overhyped and a lot of people skip just to pull him. And the one they pull him they regretted immediately. It's because Jingyuan, besides that, like Jingyuan's skilling is not enough that time. The biggest problem is his follow-up attack is actually from a summon entity. And this means that if he gets CC'd, his summon won't take action. And the summon is very slow that time. So the only way to rescue him is to put a signature harmony support on him, which is Sunday, the upcoming new 5-star next version. So this is like how they save a character temporarily but not permanently. So this is like a temporary option. Just like how Acheron, like when you feel like Acheron's damage is slightly not following up the version. Yeah, so this is where the moment they release Jiaoqiu. So Jiaoqiu is like a temporary solve for Acheron. Okay, if they tend to increase like the enemy stats or enemy mechanics in the future, then there will be certain new supports or new DPS to solve the problem. Okay, another most classic fall off is the dot team, bro. So remember that time dot team was the meta. Okay, everyone was like pull Kafka, and you are good to go. Like you're just brain dead. You can just auto and you can still win. Yeah. So the reason why like dot teams are getting like lesser popularity today, okay, so it's obviously still the same reason. The enemy is just too tough for the OG teams to like temporarily clear. So the time Kafka before Black Swan release, Kafka was like your most classic team would be Kafka, Sampo, or maybe like some other two random characters or Luca, Gwenaifen, or Asta. Okay, something like that. It won't go too far. Okay, so yeah, that's like the reason until Black Swan came out, everyone was so hyped because they thought DOT is going to be like strong once again, going to make DOT proud. Okay, but no, it's just like it's out and it's there, and it's just there. Like it's never holding up that long, and then it fell off again. Okay, so the only nihility that's standing is actually Acheron, but we all clearly know Acheron is not a nihility character. This woman is an all-in-one character. So she is like, you can consider her destruction, yeah, she kinda is. The hunt, yeah, she kinda is the hunt. Erudition, yeah, she is kind of the erudition character. Okay, yeah, nihility, not really. Like she you can see all types of like characteristics on her except for nihility itself, which is questionable. Okay, and not going to say Jiaoqiu, when it comes to Jiaoqiu, yeah, he is kind of like a nihility character, but at the same time you feel like his kit looks like kind of like a harmony character made for Acheron. So yeah, sometimes like it's actually quite questioning like whether if the character is actually belongs to like this or that. Yeah, so sometimes it really is a problem like that. Right, so back to the question. So yeah, that pretty much sums up all what I want to say in this video. So yeah, but overall, plan your pools properly. Okay, don't be like me. As you can see, I'm a heavy gambling addict. Okay, I don't save up my jades and I don't save up my Stario passes. Okay, so here I declare the end of this video. Okay, so before stopping recording, I wish all people who are actually wishing for Regas or Rappa, Daheng IL, Adventuring or Acheron, I wish you all get the characters you want, or even best, I hope you all want your 50/50s and get them early so you can like save more burden. Yeah, you can have lesser burden and you can be happier. All right, so thank you guys for watching this close to 40 minutes of yapping. Okay, this is the longest video, so whoever watched here, thank you very much for your support. And yeah, besides thank you, I actually don't know what to say. Appreciated for your support. Yeah, so thank you very much guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, peace.